Yes, man. Throwing that status. Serial thriller, Mr. B Mud. Got the fire ice design behind me. Throwback. Throwing that camouflage cap on. You see that? This was made for Operation Desert Storm. So FAME, fame. Today, Tuesday, is A Day. That is Adventure Day. So I'm gonna share a little bit with you from the adventure that we took to we called the Operation Desert Storm. Egypt, Saudi Arabia. We're gonna talk about the Egypt side. So when I got there to South Egypt, Cairo, Egypt, right? I mean, the place was so, it's like a clash of ancient Egypt and modern day world. I mean, it's like you got horses, camels, trucks, bikes, mopeds, skateboards, and rollerblades all on the same street going crazy. You know what I mean? It was like a real culture shock. So when I get off the plane, right, we had this 5-star exquisite hotel. Now, if you want to know the hotel, subscribers only, check it out. You know what I mean? Now, at this hotel, I was just telling my companion today when I was on my way out, running about doing some things. The amazing hotel. This was a 5-star hotel, sits right on the Nile River. So when I get to the hotel, right, I get there. We have breakfast the next morning. I walk into the buffet. I'm expecting a normal buffet, but when I come in, hello, sir, how you doing? This, and that. Right this way, they take you to your seat. Where would you like to sit? I said, well, I want to sit next to a window where I can see the Nile River. I want to see what that's looking like. You know, that's what I want. That's what I want to check out. You know, so gave me a nice window seat, looking at this beautiful river, history of Moses, Abraham, etc., etc. They say, hey, would you like a newspaper? We have this newspaper, that. They bring you a newspaper to read, bring you tea, bring you coffee. I felt like I was royalty, you know. And the food was exquisite. It was food from Egypt, Somalia, American, like different type of cuisine that you could get. But I think the most eccentric or excellent part of it that I'm sitting here eating breakfast, reading the Egyptian Gazette or whatever it was called, you know, the Egyptian newspaper, and I'm checking it out, eating this 5-star meal, 5-star service, people waiting on me hand and foot, looking at the Nile River. I felt like the Nile River was personified, like I was having breakfast with the Nile, as if the Nile was a person, as if the Nile River could talk to me, as if the Nile River could, you know, ask me how was it, say good morning to me, things like that. And, you know, later on in the day, I started thrilling. You know, if you look at the web page and if you look at the YouTube videos and the Instagram feed, you'll see, you know, the ATV rides around the pyramid, the camel rides, all the wild stuff that we was doing, boat rides on the Nile River. All this thing was real lit. It was real exquisite. But when I'm gonna tell you this, you're just sitting there having breakfast on the Nile River, as if this was a person, as this was an old friend or a friend I heard so much about and never got to speak to. So I'm just sitting there drinking my tea, you know, drinking my coffee, looking at the Nile River like, Assalamu alaikum, good morning, you know. It reminded me of my humble beginnings, you know, my humble beginnings, some things I may not want to discuss, but it just reminded me of some of the low points of my life where I could have been broke or when I was in a cage or when I was just like, yo, life is so bad right now, it can't get any worse. When am I going to get out of this? How am I going to get out of this? How am I going to fix this? Like, wow, you just feel so overwhelmed with crushing circumstances and crushing misery. It felt like when you're going to get out, how you're going to get loose. But from that to being in probably the most luxurious hotel in Cairo, Egypt, sitting right next to the Nile River, drinking some coffee that's so strong, and so they get like a little small amount of it like this, eating some cuisine, stuff that you can't even pronounce, might not even ever heard of, reading the newspaper, just looking like, wow, if they only knew, you know, the backstory behind this and what it takes for me to get here. So that adventure to Operation Desert Storm, as we called it, you know, Cairo, Egypt was an important stop. It was very historical. There's more history in Egypt than probably any other country in the world. I got a chance to check out some dope things. I mean, some real, extremely dope things that was just so amazing. But all the camel rides and all the horseback riding and all the ATV riding and all the mountain climbing and all the everything I did from the Nile River to the jet ski, all the stuff I did in that part of Africa, everything I did in the Middle East, everything I did in Operation Desert Storm, still one of the biggest thrills was just to chill and have breakfast with the Nile River. You know, we got Remy acquainted. She's a good friend of mine now, and I hope to see her again soon. And I hope you see her again soon. Thrillionaire status, man. Adventure Day. Hey,